Welcome back to Out of Bounds. I'm Pierce Simpson, and I'm joined here by Complex sports editor Adam Caparell. Adam, no smile today, brother?
No,
okay.
Staying on brand.
Staying on brand. Next to Adam Caparell, you had your hoodie on a minute ago. It was like Hoodie Gilbert. Then you took the hoodie off.
Yeah, I didn't get a haircut. My barber won't come.
Why?
I owe him like $600.
Hey, your barber, Gil.
Don't be Birdman.
I don't
Hey,
exactly.
He ain't cut something all nappied up.
Hey, listen, we still rock with you here on Out of Bounds. Fellas, last night in the association, it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a lot of great games, and a lot of great alleged altercations. We saw earlier today Kyle Lowry and Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons just pointed to Kyle Lowry, meet me in the tunnel. They almost got into a slight tiff. But the nightcap between the Los Angeles Clippers and Houston Rockets led to a potential altercation in the locker room. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, Houston Rockets players James Harden, Trevor Ariza, and Gerald Green pushed into the Clippers locker room post-game looking to confront Austin Rivers. League sources tell ESPN security escorted the Rockets out before anything turned physical. Then he added, Rockets players were clamoring for Blake Griffin too, league sources say. Chris Paul also entered with other Rockets players through a backstory that connects the teams' dressing rooms.
Ooh, a good old cockfight in the locker room.
Gil, how many 10 years in the NBA, right?
Uh-huh.
Have you ever heard of a story like this in all your years of playing?
No, I mean, you hear the Ben Simmons one is more NBA style.
Yeah.
Meet you in the back. Both players run off to the side and pretend they're going to meet in the middle. And it gets broken up. But never had three players, two players, or one player try to enter the opposing locker room.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Usually you get your ass whooped trying to come in there.
Right, that's like asking to go, let's get walking into the Lions Den. You might get jumped going into the opposing team.
5 deep.
Right, and there's other context to the story. They say Clint Capella went to the front of the locker room. They saw him there, shut the door. So obviously it was like a divergence. Clint, you go to the front, we're going to go to the back.
This could also be like Staples Center, the way the Clippers locker room situation is. This could be the only arena in the NBA where this happens because literally the visitors' locker room is like 5 strides away from the Clippers' locker room. So like the guys are mingling in the same area and they're all pissed off and all pent up rage over what was going on. A very chippy game in the fourth quarter. So they can literally take 5 strides and be knocking on the door of the locker room and trying to get in. So it's like it's a happenstance of poor planning and just poor layout for the Staples Center. Clippers are the third 10 in that building, but the idea that you would send 4 guys, Chris Paul with the goon squad essentially, James Harden, Ariza, and whoever else going into someone else's locker room is just absolutely absurd. But NBA Twitter last night was on fire. And was pure entertainment.
I just don't get it. Like, what did Austin say that bad?
And he wasn't even playing.
I know that's the best.
Beverly too. Beverly took it to Twitter and kind of spat it off a little bit. But Beverly was mouthing off. All the guys were mouthing off.
That's the funniest shit ever. So you got Chris Paul, who's been a Clipper for about 5 years.
Yeah.
You got Beverly, who's in Houston. They both switched teams. Now they ride or die for that new team. Shut up. Like, come on. It's a new culture here.
But I mean, it's kind of
motherfucker, you've never been here before.
But it shows it was obvious tension where they were.
It also, it just shows how much, the hatred or, how great the Clippers feel that CP3 is now no longer with them. Like, a weight's been lifted off their shoulder and talking to Austin Rivers, who was on the show, last season and earlier in the year, he talks about how different the culture is and how kind of free they feel and, the meanness that was around the team is completely gone. But it got really chippy last night. Really chippy last night.
Said to actually get it.
But it just shows you. I mean, Blake and Chris Paul do not like each other at all. And it was also amazing how, I don't know if this ever happened to you in the NBA, but the things kind of popped off when Blake supposedly knocked into D'Antoni on the sideline.
Right.
And D'Antoni's yapping at him. Have you ever seen a player knock into a coach like that and kind of start off some of the fireworks a little bit?
And then a player and a coach get double tees?
I mean, never. Yeah. I've never seen it. Yeah. I mean, but if a player said something to the coach,
well, D'Antoni said something to Blake.
The other players have the coach back, so we're going to throw some. And you've seen all the little cheap shots they were throwing at Blake for no reason.
1,000%. And I'm not Blake had his shorts ripped last night by Trevor Ariza.
It was a rough game.
I would want nothing to do with Ariza. He may be 190 pounds and 6'10", but I want nothing to do with Ariza.
He's aggressive. I said, it felt like from looking at it, you would have thought they was in Houston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were riled up.
But all the people that was Ariza's from LA, everyone's from
But
LA.
here's the thing. Why are so many people that weren't even playing in the game trying to fight? James Harden's still sidelined with the hamstring injury. Austin Rivers is literally in a walking boot.
Yeah.
And Patrick Beverly's out for the year.
Yeah.
And those are the three main culprits.
Two guys in suits,
in
yeah,
the
but
fight.
the instigators.
It
The guys in the
makes
suits
no
are the
sense.
instigators.
It's very bizarre.
Yeah.
And I'm not a professional lip reader, but there was definitely some FUs that Mike D'Antoni sent Blake Griffin's way.
Oh, not safe for work language all over
Exactly.
the place.
And then Chris Paul came back and kind of doubled down what D'Antoni had to say to Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
But there was also some tea that Chris Paul shared after the game. Did you check that out?
Which tea are you referring to?
He said that, this was great, the Clippers have a go-to guy. It wasn't Blake Griffin that he named. It was Lou Williams that he named.
Yes,
But it's
take it to new levels.
But it's true. I mean, it is true.
Well, yeah, Lou should be the all-star representative for the Clippers, but whatever.
He is the go-to guy. Blake has never been a go-to guy.
So the guy that you played with for roughly
But you know
6
what's
years.
so funny? That probably was the biggest war between them two.
Yeah.
Blake wanting to be the star and just wasn't capable of it.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul is like, you're
But can you
not
say
that guy. You're not that guy.
Yeah, but is Chris
You want to be that
is
guy.
Chris
but
Paul also capable of kind of being that guy to, again, like, is he really a closer?
No, he's not a closer, but he knows who is a closer and you're not it. So you want me to keep giving you the ball for you to do what? Pound out here and chuck threes up? No. And I guarantee you that was their riff.
They play again in Staples Center, I think, the end of February.
You know who riff was like that too?
Who?
Dwight Howard's riff. When he was getting into the zone, he wanted to be the go-to guy, and they're like,
No, you can't.
You're
no, come
not
on,
that
Dwight.
guy.
Who was
And that was
saying
his-
no? Stan Van Gundy? Or?
No, when he came to the Lakers.
Oh,
You gotta
Lakers,
remember,
yeah.
he had so much success the year before, and Kobe,
You're on the
Steve
team
Nash.
with Kobe Bryant.
Exactly.
Where the hell is your head at? Yeah.
I know, but that's
Can you
That's
imagine?
why Dwight is a clown.
Exactly.
But come on.
Can you imagine seeing Dwight eating like 12 Snickers bars a day? And he's like, this guy wants to be the.
This guy, yeah.
That's right, he was a dominant force. It's just that some people are closers, some people aren't.
I respect
that's
it.
all it is.
I respect it. It's pretty impressive that we have all these entertaining matchups and entertaining probable fights. And it's not even the halfway point of the NBA season. But here on Out of Bounds, we want to give our mid-season NBA awards with All-Star right around the corner. And fellas, first up, I need your most valuable player so far this season. Gil, I'll start with you. Okay.
I was gonna go with LeBron.
Oh, who you
I
going
said
with
you
now?
two goofs go with him.
How can you not go with LeBron?
Exactly.
I'm gonna go with Harden.
He's out right now.
Exactly. You got to knock. He's been out, what, 5 games?
He's gonna be out like 2 or 3
Yeah,
weeks.
with a strained
He's gonna miss
hamstring.
2 or 3 weeks of the season. But go ahead, explain.
Harden, 32.25. He was runner up last year, 9 assists. Team has the best record or second best record.
Right.
I mean, he's playing like an MVP, like he did last year.
Okay.
I mean, the only reason he lost last year because the man averaged a triple-double. And he's playing the same type of basketball he was last year. Still not playing no defense, but and he's still not playing any defense, but
He never will play.
I know. But his offensive game is he's just continuing where he left off last year.
Well, LeBron plays defense, so that's one of the reasons why I would give him the MVP.
I get that. That's what I said. I would have chosen LeBron, but because they haven't got their stride yet, and he's just.
Yeah, but he's doing everything.
But he's losing. But he's losing games. Sometimes.
Because he needs more help.
Hey, and the Rockets lost last
Whoa,
night.
whoa, whoa!
Clippers.
So you're saying like on paper, you're saying
That LeBron needs more help.
Cleveland and Rockets, or
Or equal.
who would you say is better?
Right now, the Rockets.
Okay, just of the two rosters, ranking the players, it goes LeBron, James Harden, and third is obviously Chris Paul, right?
Chris Paul. Then
I'm not putting IT above.
I'm not putting
No,
IT
Chris
above-
Paul, IT.
Yeah.
Then who?
The Cavs have a very flawed
Oh,
roster.
whoa, whoa,
right now.
whoa,
The
then
Cavs have
who?
a very flawed roster.
Then who?
Who would you put?
gonna put
And ain't nobody from the Rockets coming. Ain't nobody from the Rockets.
Yeah, but is it
Let's see.
working for the
At this-
Cavs right now?
At this point in time, would you take Eric Gordon or Dwayne Wade? Don't you say Dwayne Wade?
I'm taking Wade.
Come on, you don't believe that.
I mean, for the playoff, I'm going to take Wade.
Yeah, you said in the playoffs?
Yeah.
that's fair.
Well, LeBron
That's
should be the MVP.
At 1,000%. How we get called goose for picking
no,
LeBron
it's
James,
not.
who's having,
I'm just saying, I'm not going to go with you.
what's it, year 15, and he might have his best.
Yeah, year
statistics season?
15.
I'm just saying I'm not going with you two goofs.
So you're fading the public is what you're doing?
Career highs in effective field goal percentage. He's tops in the NBA in value over replacement.
I
and
get
number
that.
2 in offensive box plus minus.
I get that. I mean, that's what I said. His record is just not where it's supposed to be. That's all.
That's a problem with the roster.
Exactly.
Not LeBron.
Yeah.
Trust me.
That's David Griffin and Kobe Altman. That's their issues. Now, next up, we have Rookie of the Year. Fellas, who we leaning with in Rookie of the Year so far?
I know who you're going with. Your top 5 point guard, Mr. Ben Simmons.
I'm going Ben.
Ben? Okay. Adam.
I'm going Donovan Mitchell because Ben is technically, yes, a rookie, but like he was in the NBA, he was drafted 2 years ago, so like he's kind of going through, the ins and outs behind the scenes for the second time. But Donovan Mitchell, first in scoring for NBA rookies, I think leads in free throw percentage also for NBA rookies. And what have you seen him do unexpectedly for the Jazz is amazing. And the crazy thing for me is he's been on the record saying that he didn't even think he was worthy of being a first-round draft pick.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, in my opinion, he should be Rookie of the Year.
But he worked this offseason with your boy Brinkley, right?
Yeah, Chris Brickley did a great job getting prepared for this.
I mean, he's a nice choice. I mean,
Yeah.
4 road wins.
That's a team issue, not a Donovan Mitchell issue.
Again,
That's what I said.
We're doing individual awards right now.
I'm going with the guy his numbers are slipping as of late. He was averaging 19, 8 and 9. Now he's at 17. Was it 8 and 7? 2 steals, 1 block.
Just an all-around game.
He's finding his own. No matter if you got drafted 2 years or you're a rookie this year, you guys are both playing the game for the first time.
Yeah.
So, any one of those two I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I think they're 2 future superstars of the NBA. Donovan Mitchell's averaging around 18.4 points per game. It is disheartening that his team is 4-18 on the road.
Worst road record in the NBA.
That is brutal. But I think
he's a rookie. He can't do shit about that.
But Utah has like a superstar in the meantime until he leaves 4 or 5 years from now and goes somewhere else. You know how the NBA works. And next up, a player that did leave, and he's my most improved, but I want to hear you guys' most improved. Who's the most improved player in the league?
Well, who's your guy?
I know.
I was teasing it, but the guy that left Oklahoma City, went to Indiana Pacers, Victor Oladipo, is my most improved player. He's tearing up the league right now. What he did to Cleveland Cavaliers earlier this year against LeBron James, we've seen various 40-point games. You have to give it to Oladipo.
Oladipo should be an all-star.
Yeah. Cap, who you going with?
All right, I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown. Okay. I think Oladipo is the obvious choice, but my choice is Jaylen Brown because we've seen massive jumps in him in free throw percentage. We've seen him average 14.2 points per game this year after last year averaging 6. And also, he's become one of the best individual defenders in the NBA. And the Boston Celtics right now are obviously the top team in the East. So my pick would be friend of complex, Jaylen Brown.
But if you're the Celtics, do you ever throw him in a potential trade for Anthony Davis?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, who else are you throwing him in there with?
I guess if you had to pick between him or Tatum, who are you rolling?
Well, you're probably going with Tatum right now because he's more talented offensively.
Okay.
I fucked this one up.
Is that why you were quick to pass it off?
I fucked this one up. I put Embiid because I didn't think he was balling last year.
Listen, if Embiid plays 60 games this year, he might have to win most of the
So, averaging, 20 and 7 in 31 games, and you're averaging 23 and 10, that most improved jump is not as big as I thought it was. I thought he was just 10, 12 last year, and he's just balling this year, but he was balling last year, so it kind of fucked me up because I already had Rudy's name on the paper.
Can you knock him for his defensive efforts, though? Because you watch him on that end of the floor, and it's kind of lackluster.
He's lackadaisical, but he's good. He still can block some shots.
He's 7'1", 7'2".
I love him only because he knows he can't play defense, but as long as he says he's trying to win Defensive Player of the Year, you don't really knock him for it.
Really?
You're like, at least he's trying.
He had an interesting report earlier this year with Ramona Shelburne where he mentioned that he's enjoying the time that he's at now because he knows at some point the media will turn on him. Gil, do you think that's 1,000% true?
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
No, that's how media is. They love your loving, outgoing personality.
Yeah.
Until they don't like it anymore, then you become a distraction.
Yeah.
It's one of those, especially if you go through a losing season. Like right now, he's young. 76ers is exciting. So, his personality is like, yes. If they win 60 games next year, yes. Embiid is, they win 10 games. Oh, he's a fucking distraction.
Right. That's how it usually works.
He's about 2 seasons away from being annoying as fuck. But to your point, we build you up to break you down. That's how it works.
That's how it always is.
You gotta know when to get out. Now while the getting's good.
You mentioned Embiid being one of the best shot blockers in the NBA still, despite his lackadaisical effort. But to be Defensive Player of the Year, you have to bring it each and every night. Fellas, I have my choice in mind, but Gil, who's your Defensive Player of the Year?
Defensive player? Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's a group of them.
Oh, I know where this is going.
The refs. I'm sorry, the refs this year have been shutting down players.
You must have watched the OKC game last night.
You seen Russ last night. You know, he goes in and gets smacked in the face. When he realized it was no foul, it was a travel, he gets to talking, ref tees him up. Like, as a referee, you can't be that quick to tee someone up for their emotion during an emotional game.
Yeah.
Like, it just...
But to the ref's credit, Russ was hurt, got up, deliberately walked over just to cuss him out. Yeah. When he got ejected, he was still cussing him out.
But I'm just saying, I'm cussing you out because I got hit in the face. You didn't call it. I deserve a technical.
Yeah, but you can't charge at a ref like that. You can't, like, run at the ref. That's get teed up every time for that.
9 superstars have been ejected this year.
Yeah.
We go pay to see 33 players.
Yeah,
that's come on. That's
not even all-star break.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even. It's halfway through the season. That means you're suspending somebody. I mean, you're kicking someone once a game.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Come on.
Did the refs have bunny ears like this back in your day?
Not really. I mean, there's some refs that understands. Like, if they played basketball, they understand there's emotions that go. So if I jab at you, you got refs that say, yeah, you're acting like a bitch. Stop whining.
Did the ref say that to you?
Yeah. But I stopped because you got to understand, like, because I'm, as players, we've never committed one foul. Mm-hmm. We're always getting fouled.
1,000%.
So if that's our mentality as a ref, you should know that already.
Yeah.
So for me my emotion is the yell, and your emotion is the kick me out of the game. How are you better than me?
Yeah, I thought it was great that Melo said, I'm done with them.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's the same way.
Yeah. Now, Cap, there's obviously been a lot of tension with the ref. We even saw one ref try to, headbutt Sean Livingston earlier this season. Now, while Gil has his Defensive Player of the Year, who's yours?
It's not the refs. It's not Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
It is going to be Paul George, leading the league in steals. He is top 5 in defensive win shares and top 20 defensive rating. So my choice would be Paul George.
Nice. Did he try to look at your notes like this is a test? He was like,
he wants to make sure my numbers are correct.
He was like, wait, okay, what you got on your Scantron right there? B? Okay, I'm going to put B down.
That's just a black man's habit.
What you got? Okay, what's the answer to A? Knowing it's 2 different tests. My Defensive Player of the Year is Anthony Davis, top 5 and I believe blocks and rebounds at this point. I had DeAndre Jordan, but when you're ranked 35th in blocks and you're about 6'11", I can't buy that. That's the same guy you said you would pay $30 million to this offseason.
I'm paying $30 million to DeAndre.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, he plays
for a few seasons.
Yeah, a few more seasons.
Yeah, but he's going to be on 5 years, 6 years. So.
I mean, so you'd rather pay it to Blake?
Yeah, because he can play 4 quarters.
Oh.
Can DeAndre play 4 quarters?
And he's going to miss the next 2 years. Due to hamstring, quad,
I mean, based on the injury history.
Bicep, under toe injury. It's going to be something.
How about we just move the Clippers somewhere else, right? How about we just say that? It's move the Clippers. Next up, y'all kind of alluded to it earlier about the go-to guy for the Clippers. And this next segment, this might be his award. 6th Man of the Year. Sweet Lou?
Sweet Lou. I mean, I'm going with Sweet Lou. And I hate this award because everyone who wins the 6th Man award technically is the starter on that team.
By minutes played, you're saying? By
minutes played. The guy who's starting in front of him is trash.
He's finishing these games.
It's like, come on, he's really a starter. Yeah. But I like Lou coming off as the 6th man because his skill set is getting fouled and knowing how to get fouled, and he plays off of reaction.
So if he's that good, why not start him?
Because his attributes kick in when he gets in the game. So every time he gets in the game, the penalty is always at 6 or they're in the penalty. So he's already a threat.
So it's like you say, if you know the team's in the penalty, be aggressive.
Be aggressive, and the way he plays the game, that's his contact fouls.
Yeah.
So when he comes in a game, you're already like, oh, shit, he's in.
Yeah.
Because now at that point, everything he does, you can't actually stick him because now everything he does is he's trying to commit that foul.
Yeah. Cap, who you?
I mean, as long as Doc Rivers doesn't start him too many games with all the injury issues, it's got to be Lou.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to fade the public because you two goose went with Lou Williams. I'm going with the best player on the Lakers right now, and that's Jordan Clarkson.
Okay.
Right?
That's a swerve. That's a swerve.
He's the best player on the Lakers right now. It seems to be that him and the Lakers have mutual interest in a trade. If I'm the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm finding some type of package to fill him into the 2 spot to replace Andre Robertson, and I think that can throw OKC into one of the elite powers in the Western Conference.
I forgot he was a 6th man. I forgot they're
so if Lou ends up starting 20 games, maybe.
Yeah, I forgot the Lakers is on that dumb shit still.
Lakers can't figure out what they're doing.
If I'm them, I would be trying to win as many games as I possibly can.
To keep that pick?
Yeah, to keep the pick, to at least get it to 6. Gotta remember, you keep losing these games because you don't want to start your best 2 players.
Yeah, him and Randall.
Yeah, you don't want to start your best 2 players and you're losing games and you get the 2nd pick or the 3rd pick and that shit is shifted.
Are we ever going to get to the point where we question whether or not the Lakers can draft players adequately?
I can tell you this.
Well, I mean, you have to see if the new management.
No. The last draft pick the Lakers actually had that was successful was Eddie Jones.
Was that like 1995?
Eddie Jones? No, it was like 90.
Kobe's 96, class 96? Oh, my
Let's
goodness.
see how Kuzma works out.
That wasn't a draft pick.
No,
They traded. I mean, technically they traded for him. So if you
That wasn't their draft
yes.
pick. The Lakers did not
It was the
pick
Nets
him.
draft
You know who
pick.
you're arguing, right? This is
I'm just saying technically they did not say Lakers with the what's-the-name pick
All right,
Kuzma.
Fine. You don't give him credit for Kuzma, whatever.
Nah, I'm not giving him credit for Kobe either. You ain't pick him.
Eddie Jones like drafted 1994.
That was their last good pick.
It's like 23 years ago.
That was their last-
24.
Yeah, because in his
That was their last great pick.
who was the last All-Star that they drafted outright? Andrew Bynum?
Unless you take Andrew Bynum, but yeah, he was a bust though.
And he was like a one-time All-Star?
One-time All-Star.
Wow.
Wow. That was it.
Man, this gets bleak. Next up, we have Coach of the Year. My Coach of the Year is Dwayne Casey, Toronto Raptors. Nobody. Why are you making that face?
Because you're about to say you was just about to say no. Finish it. Nobody won. Nobody won.
Yo, why did he have this stink face on? He was like, what?
Finish it. No.
I don't think anybody had Toronto. I believe they're second in the East right now. Nobody had them being this high to start the year. They lost some good players this all season, like PJ Tucker.
He said lost good players. I'm like,
PJ Tucker's a
pretty
formidable.
sure Kyle Lowry was still there.
CJ Miles went on to go play for another team. Actually, CJ Miles is in Toronto now. So PJ Tucker, some other solid players, some good rotational players.
I mean, Toronto is Toronto. They're gonna have 50-something games every year.
So you're saying they're always be around to get swept by LeBron?
They're gonna lose in the first round. So I'm not gonna give Casey Coach of the Year for doing the same thing he's gonna do every year.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going with Pop.
Greg Popovich?
Yes. You didn't have.
Because of a system.
Yes. You didn't have your star player, Kawhi. You didn't have Tony at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
You didn't have a top 25 player on your team.
LaMarcus is not top 25?
LaMarcus didn't come in the season as a top 25 player.
Not coming
He's
into the
been
season.
balling. He's been balling this season.
Yeah.
But you start your season with a not favorable starting roster or just a team, and you're third in the Western Conference and second in defensive.
But you can give Pop Coach of the Year.
I know, but
year.
but with the lack of talent, like you really like if someone said Kawhi and Tony wasn't going to play this season, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, Spurs is going down. But that system, baby, make average players look amazing.
Oh, wow. Okay, there's a lot to unpack with this one. So he's going to slander Kawhi. So
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's where we're going to.
I was not gonna.
It's always going there.
I was not gonna go. I'm just saying the system makes average players look amazing. That's what's wrong with that.
Watch this.
They're third.
Tim Duncan's average.
What?
Tim Duncan was average.
Hey, was he a top 5 defender?
That's
You
debatable.
would- Yeah.
Manu Ginobili's going to be a Hall of Famer. Pal Gasol's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Longevity.
Tony Parker.
Tim Duncan's a Hall of Famer.
Longevity.
Tony Parker a Hall of Famer, and Kawhi is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Okay, but is this Hall of Famers
Robert
because
Horry as
of-
well, so that's 6.
but
Hall of Famers and coach.
because of the win shares they're getting or what they're actually doing? Their numbers. If you take off their wins and just counted their numbers, are their numbers all-star worthy?
Isn't it you play to win the game?
Exactly.
But if your team is just a winning team and you get drafted, that fucking has nothing to do with you.
But you can't.
Patty Mills is going to be a Hall of Famer.
No, he's
then.
not.
No, he's not. But you can't.
Shit.
But you can't knock people for that.
I know you can't knock them for it, but I'm just saying, like, if the organization is just a winning, or they've won, they've been a winning team in the last 21 years.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
Yeah, I don't think
that
they've
is
had
the
a-
best franchise in sports history in the last 2 decades.
Aside from the Patriots. Well, maybe that's a conversation. We got to talk about that. That's a
The
debate.
most winningest organization in the last 20 years?
Yeah, I think I heard a stat where they haven't won under 50 games since maybe Tim Duncan was drafted.
Since the year before Tim Duncan was
Yeah, so that's pretty impressive. You kind of have a curveball with your coach of the year.
Yeah, my coach of the year is Luke Walton. He hasn't murdered LeVar Ball yet. For every single controversy he deals with on a regular basis concerning the Ball family, I think it's amazing that Luke has not committed a felony. So that's my choice.
And especially with the roster that he has. It's just a collection of players.
The sad part is, like, that team is not built for what Luke is great at. Luke is a player's coach. He's a player's coach, so he needs veteran teams. You know, he has to coach like these young kids that you have to mentor, develop, that don't really know the ins of the outs. It kind of hurts coaches who are like a Steve Nash type. I mean, not Steve Nash, but Steve Kerr, Luke Walton type. Those guys are more of a player, so they know when to call certain plays, you know, when you have days off. You know, those Doc River type, you know, they're player coaches. Then, you know, you have players coaches like Stan Van Gundy. You bring a Stan Van Gundy to the Lakers. He puts fear and discipline in those guys. But once those guys get to a certain age, you got to get rid of Stan because he just doesn't know how to.
Wears on them.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to turn that over.
Yeah. All right, switching gears a little bit, we could, give out an award for sportsmanship, for teammate of the year, for executive of the year, but this being out of bounds is not really our style, so we're going to kind of give you some of our own accolades and superlatives. We're going to run through them real quick. And the first one I'm going to start off with, guys, is best signature shoe of the 2017-2018 season. Pierce, who you got?
Yeah, this is technically not a signature shoe, but I'm going to go with the Nike Hyperdunk Off-White. Virgil Abloh has definitely dominated the streetwear culture.
Worthy selection.
And the fashion culture in general. So to see players rocking the Off-White Hyperdunk on the court, it's pretty impressive to me.
Yo?
I'm going with the Yeezy.
Oh, what you have on right now?
Stunt on him?
Okay.
I'm going with the Yeezy boots.
Hey.
You know, that's that. You know, right now, what Jordan used to be to kids, that's what the Yeezy boots are right now.
That might be. Is that a hot take?
No, it's not a hot. I mean, probably
jump over the jump, man.
No. Probably for adults, for adult culture.
Yeah.
For hip hop culture, you know, the Yeezy boost or.
Yeah, he's definitely influential.
You know, still high school kids, they're not getting it.
If they break out this social of you saying Kanye West has jumped over the jump man.
No.
RP to your mentions.
No, what I'm saying, he hasn't jumped over jump man, but for who we are, he has.
Okay.
I mean, no, not who he, no.
Listen, DeVale, cut that. We need that as social so they can go after him. Let's move on.
Just go to him.
All right, my selection, LeBron 15s. I think is the best LeBrons we've seen put out for LeBron. Also, special shout out to the PK80 colorway, or the PK80 tournament colorway they put out for Ohio State. I think that all gray is hard right there
black.
for Ohio State. That's gray.
That's black.
Ohio State doesn't have black colorway. It's gray.
That shoe was fucking black.
That's gray.
The shoe before that was
All right,
gray.
we gotta. Let's move on. All right, let's go to best fits right now. Who are you giving for your best fits in the season far, Pierce?
My best fit so far. This guy is arguing.
You colorblind?
Colorblind.
But he's arguing about colors right now.
It's gray. They don't have black in their colorway. Go ahead.
I know, they don't have black. That shoe was black.
Scarlet and gray are their colors.
Charcoal. Black. Okay, whatever.
Go ahead, best fits.
My best fit is friend of the show, Nick Young.
Okay, swag Shouts.
Your homeboy, your young guy.
Army fatigue on?
Yeah, that's a nice fit. That's a nice fit.
Eating Chinese food?
Why would that be Chinese food? That's like a coconut.
Oh.
Out of.
I
What are you
Get your eyes checked.
colorblind? Maybe can't see.
It was blurred.
We need you on the physical exam. We got to figure this out. Gilbert Arenas can't see y'all, but Nick Young is my choice.
I'm going to Russell.
Russell? Okay.
The wild man.
Yeah.
I'm going with Brody.
I want to see you pull off a Russell fit one of these days.
All leather.
I can't do it. I don't have that.
What? That style?
Yeah, I don't have that confidence, that edge that he has that in him.
So you saying it's not your...
He can go from that to gang banging with the...
He
He has a big broad of clothing wear.
I want to start a GoFundMe to get you wearing that outfit right there.
Yeah. Make sure y'all spam
Might be
the
on the
comment
couch.
section and let us know. Yeah.
All right, my selection, LeBron, rocking the black hoodie, the black rider jacket from friend of Complex, John Elliott. I think that look has been awesome all season long that LeBron's been rocking, so that would be my choice.
He's wearing leather and hoodies and shit because it's cold as shit in Cleveland.
It's functional, yeah.
Yeah, but he's stylish at the
Fashion
same
and
time,
function,
so I can't knock it.
I got it.
All right, moving on. Worst NBA starter this year. Who you got?
I'm going with Chandler Parsons. And a lot of it's just a collection of his contract, his availability, his injury history. When you're making roughly about $94 million and you're barely playing, like Memphis damn near shelved out $200 million to two players that have yet to make an all-star team in Mike Conley and Chandler Parsons, and he's my worst starter. It's a lot of money, right? And they want to blame the coach. Who you got, Abachi? Who you about to slander?
Anybody on the Lakers.
So not one player, just anybody.
Just any starter on the Lakers until they decide to start the 2 players that they're supposed to start to show that they're trying to actually win. The whole fucking starting 5 is the worst.
So that's Lonzo.
Fuck them all.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I don't know what Magic is telling Luke up there.
Yeah.
But you're not going to convince me as a coach that we're moving forward without a 24 and 25-year-old player.
Yeah.
I can say if Jordan Clarkson and them were 28, 29, and you're trying to move in a different direction, but they're in the same age group as the people you're trying to build. So why aren't they starting so you guys can try to get at least trick me?
Maybe it's not the guys that they picked. Maybe that's the issue. It's not the guys that they picked, that the Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson regime picked.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, then it's not about winning.
Oh, we knew that from the beginning. We knew that. That's it. Welcome.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just, fuck them.
All right. my worst starter, Andre Roberson, mic drop.
Yeah. He might
I don't need to say anything else.
I don't know
Andre
how you be the
Roberson.
whole starting 5, but okay.
Andre Roberson.
Okay.
All right. Keeping it moving. Biggest blowhard coach in the NBA. Who are you going with?
I'm going with the guy he mentioned earlier, Stan Van Gundy.
Okay.
He's just always yelling. His teams never seem to be too happy. He has like a 2-year shelf life, and it's time to move on.
Yeah, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. That's that. Oh, that's that
right there.
that smut face.
What?
Yeah. True story.
Okay.
Oh, I'm ready for this one.
True story. I don't even know who the hell we were playing at the time because I was just so intrigued with Stan and Dwight's back and forth.
Yes.
So someone drove, they pinned Dwight Howard and he didn't get the block. Mm-hmm. Mind you, we're up 14. Stan calls timeout. He's yelling at, bah, 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 bah. How come you didn't get the block? He's like, I got pinned in. I can't be everywhere. You can't be everywhere. They call you the fucking Superman. Superman's everywhere. So, Dwight, well, then you go block her with your fat ass. Stan Van Gundy said, well, I'm not the one out. He said, I'm not one of the fans. I'm not here jacking you off. And I said, what the fuck? He said, you're the one who should be getting all the blocks. They're the ones who, they're over here jacking you off. And I'm saying,
yo,
wow.
Stan is comical.
Yo.
It is funny, but his wit, it was so funny, he just don't have no personality. Yeah. But when it comes to straight wit, he is classic.
He can battle you.
And that story right there lets me know why the NBA never mics up his.
Oh, no, you can't. Oh, no, you're never
mic
mic up. Oh, that's one person you won't mic up.
Adam, who's your guy?
Your boy, Rick Carlisle.
Oh, my goodness.
He's gotten extra crotchety, extra cantankerous over these years with all the losing for the Mavericks. So Rick Carlisle is my selection.
That's fair. There's not a lot of talent on that roster, but shout out to Dirk.
Yeah.
I heard a story about him once.
About Rick Carlisle?
Yeah, they just finished the game. You know how you get on the elevator?
Yeah.
And you will figure a coach will say, hey, they said he won't speak to you.
An opposing player.
No. His own team. You'll be in the elevator and he won't say anything.
You just be on the elevator with the coach and he won't say
psychotic.
nothing. Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay.
Last topic. I want you guys to
I don't know if it's true.
I want you guys to name the best hot mess in the NBA so far this season.
I'm going to go with the thing that we talked about earlier today, on today's episode with the Houston Rockets and Los Angeles Clippers nearly fighting in the locker room. That's what I'm going to go with. Biggest hot mess.
Okay.
What is it? You about to lead a set?
He heard me say that was going to do. I was going to say that one. I was going to say Houston. Why you even call? You knew he was going to steal that.
So I'm getting accused of stealing.
How you going to steal like that's on my note card?
Let me see. No, he's lying.
No, that was on
This is all fake news, by the way. It was all fake news.
No, I was going to say, I'm going to use this as a hot mess.
Since you're my guy, expound upon why that's the biggest hot mess of the year. Talk about it. I didn't know that you.
No, you had another hot mess.
Yeah, but it's
yeah, see? He switched his hot mess on me. That's what we doing now?
I didn't steal it.
That's what we doing now?
I didn't steal it.
That's my biggest hot mess. Co-workers stealing shit, okay? Co-workers stealing shit, that's my hot mess.
All right, my hot mess is the NBA not televising the All-Star Draft, because what the fuck is the point of having the All-Star Draft if you're not going to televise it and watching LeBron not pick Kyrie? Like, that's you missed the entire point of that.
Speaking of that, what is the actual rules? Like, so.
It's just back. There are none.
No. So they're the captains. Can they pick anybody?
Yes, they can pick anybody.
Yeah, from the
alternate.
pool of all-star players.
Okay, so who pulled the All-Stars already?
We'll find out who the starters are, who the reserves are.
It might be Thursday. It might be this Thursday.
It's coming
we
up
find
soon.
out.
Okay, so they're still doing the same old.
Yeah.
The fans pick the starting fives.
But then the two top vote getters from each conference will get a chance to pick alternately who they want for their team.
Okay, so starting fives, East, West, they're gonna still do that same thing. Then they're gonna the coaches pick the reserves, and then the two captains pick from that group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you can just pick any motherfucking body. Because I was about to call in LeBron, like, wait, hold on, let me get my 10-day, brother. Let me get my 10-day. Pick a brother.
LeBron, again, hypothetically, if he's the top vote getter, he gets to pick whoever he wants first and foremost. And watch him avoid picking Kyrie for like 5, 6, 7 turns would be amazing drama and hilarious.
He's about winning. He's not gonna pick. He's about winning. That's all he cares about. So he's not gonna not pick a guy he knows can get buckets. That's not him.
In an exhibition game?
It's not exhibition. It's still part of the legacy and everything.
In an all-star game?
In the first All-Star game, he wants to be the winner. I want to see how the Golden State gets. That's going to be.
That's going to be.
That's going to be.
The NBA fucked up not televising this. That's the whole point, to televise this and see all the pettiness and drama.
That's the thing. They don't want to cause turmoil between teammates.
Then why have this in the first place?
No, because you got to remember, because if you have potentially 4 All-Stars from one team, right?
Yeah.
You talking about the Warriors?
Yeah.
They're getting 3.
Who's left out? Clay?
I don't think Draymond's
Draymond.
Yeah, Draymond might not make it.
Unless he makes it as a reserve. But I'm just saying, if he makes it, Curry's first pick, KD.
Probably.
Right? LeBron, whoever he picks. Curry's going to pick his second teammate. LeBron could just steal the other teammate, just say.
Well, that's again, we want to see that.
But that's what I'm saying. But as a player, you don't want to say, oh, you value them more than you value me.
Tough shit.
If Curry picked Clay as a fourth person.
Deal with it. You're making millions of dollars. Deal with it.
That's Clay's gone. But that's what I'm saying.
We cool.
Are you trying to shake hands?
We cool again since you thought I stole your hot mess?
No, you did still, but what is your real hot mess?
This is, first of all, I changed it before. It's a production error. It was a production error.
Alternative facts. Okay.
Bobby Portis.
Okay, Bobby.
I changed it. I changed it before I came here.
Yeah. You changed it when you looked at my notes.
That's what. Oh, come on. Why did you put that shit up? See, y'all not helping me out back there. Now they gonna think I'm stealing.
Over here stealing no cars now.
Hey, listen.
So you was that dude at school. Somebody wrote their name in pencil. You erased their name, put your name, huh?
That wraps up the latest edition of Out of Bounds. For Adam Caparell, Mr. Gilbert Arenas, I'm Pierce Simpson. I'm gonna get out of here before they say I'm stealing other things. This is Out of Bounds. We'll see you tomorrow.
Heading straight
Man, where you get that change?
Yo, that was funny, man.
Dang. Oh yeah, I really didn't know how the All-Star was gonna actually be, but it's gonna be picked. They just get to pick who they want.
The whole system is broken though when like Jimmy Butler has less votes than Lonzo Ball.
But I mean, the votes only.
But it's
count.
a popularity contest.
But that's
it's MLB All-Star. It's like they just pick whoever the fuck they really want.
But then they want to decide World Series home field advantage.
But they stopped doing that.
They stopped doing that. Okay, good God. I was like, that's stupid.
You know what? They should actually let the players, like those captains, pick